6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. All that stuff does really help out. And of course, make sure you do share it with your friends if you are finding the content useful. Of course, help share the channel. It does really help out. But guys, hope everyone is doing well. As always, a bunch of markets to get through. Yes, Raphael, we shall go through US30, no problem. Shorts the current price. Okay, we can take a look. I'll go through the USD side of things first. Take a look at dollar, USD majors, gold, and silver. And then we'll take a look at some requests and any markets, any pairs you guys are trading or looking to trade or just want someone else's opinion. Drop it in the chat and we can discuss. What's up, Roadway? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. So, as always, let's start with the DXY. Okay, so the dollar's at an interesting area, a bit of a crossroad. We're back at a major high where if we are still bearish, if the market is still going to continue lower, I would expect price to reject this area. I would expect price to potentially form another lower high and maybe start making its way back to lows. We've been very consistent with these lower highs. If price does start to break structure, which I would define as this prior high here, if price does start breaking through this area, that doesn't necessarily make me bullish overall on the dollar because the trend is still very much down in the higher time frames. But what it does do is make me bullish at least for the next few days. I'll be looking at pullbacks and more upside. It may fizzle out, it may turn around eventually, but there might still be one or two pullbacks we can look to buy and take some nice intraday positions or even intra-week ideas there. So if price does go and take out 98.089 to be a bit more exact, if we go and take out that price there, that will put me in a bullish mindset at least for the next few days, probably for next week. At the moment, we are struggling to break the high, so that is pretty significant. If I do see a strong rejection here, that would put me at least bearish back down to these areas where we were yesterday or the day before. If I drop a bit more intraday, it looks like we've had a bit of a rally this morning, but all price has done is come back to test resistance and reject it pretty hard. I would just say more or less we are consolidating right now. So it's kind of 50-50. Price is struggling to break highs, but not necessarily showing a lot of momentum to the downside. Price could still very much find support here and pick up momentum again. So I'm not going to necessarily put a bias out just yet because I don't have one really. I'm kind of waiting for a bit more information. Like I said, is price going to continue this momentum to the upside from yesterday and take out some of these highs? Well, going into next week or even tomorrow, I'll be pretty bullish looking for pullbacks. Likewise, if price does start to show momentum below this area, that's a pretty significant reaction to me and failure to break through highs. And we could be looking at some very nice bearish structure on the way back down to these areas again for tomorrow or potentially early next week as well. So USD for me at a bit of a crossroad. Going to keep a very close eye at how we do develop intraday. 15-minute as well. Really strong failure to break through the highs. So not looking too good. In terms of Euro, pretty much the exact same setup but flipped. Price again trading at some key lows over here as well. Price support, this is where we bounced at the start of the week and now we're back revisiting. So again, as I've said pretty much all week, this is bullish territory for Euro dollar. Again, this is where we kick-started our last bullish move. We've been very consistent with all these higher lows. 1, 2, 3. Potentially we could still be putting in a fourth to make that next swing to the upside. And of course, potentially return back to highs. So I would need Euro dollar to break structure again show clear momentum below these lows, and that will give me a bearish bias for euro, at least again for the next few days, where we might take advantage of some intraday pullbacks and some shorts. Again, the last major swing for euro does date back to this low here. So technically speaking, even if we do break structure here, it's not necessarily significant in terms of, okay, I'm expecting price to completely sell off. It's more so, okay, we've taken out some key lows, we've seen some momentum, probably get a pullback, probably get more downside, and then we'll see what price does as we come back to these areas. Because we very much could find support, demand, continue higher. Of course, if we do take up this low, then we could be looking at a much more significant reversal, but that's probably still a few days away from happening. So yeah, with euro, there is downside opportunity, but it does come with taking out that low, which is still maybe a couple of days away. At the moment right now, we are respecting support and that demand zone. In terms of a solid buy, I do want to see price potentially wick through this low and recover well, and that could be a nice entry for me. I'm not a big fan of the double bottom prices printing right now, especially with the aggressive momentum we saw earlier yesterday. Doesn't mean price still can't potentially find support and take off, but a better entry would be if price can take out these lows, then recover and see a continuation. And then this could at least be my first target for the trade, and then maybe back to highs if things go very well. So I do like the bullish idea here for euro because of where we're positioned. I need to see more development there for me to actually start looking for entries. Like I said, wick through the low, recover. I think that could be a nice entry. I'm definitely not looking for sells anymore. Sells was the bias yesterday because we had this strong candle closure breaking out of this range here. We had this bearish candle closure yesterday. So I said intraday, if we can find some pullbacks, perhaps even a retest of this area, that would be a smart play for a short to continue. But unfortunately, the market was really, really bearish yesterday and just kept falling straight into support. So not a lot I could have done with that. So now look back at these lows, we'll see how price reacts. Potentially could be some buys to take it back up again. Pound USD pretty bearish as well. Nice continuation, went and took out these lows here as well. So Pound USD, I'm not necessarily looking for buys for this one. We had a really aggressive move at the end of last week, and I've been pretty bearish since then. And I'm still looking for a bit more downside. I did say my targets for this week were back to this low here, just below 1.34. We haven't quite met that yet. We have seen some new lows created, which is a positive sign. But yeah, not quite at those lows yet. So I potentially could still see Pound USD still sell off a little bit further. But I am going to need a slightly deeper pullback before I do take any entries. Of course, this is our last lower high, which gave us new lows. If price could be kind enough to pull back into this area, I do think that would be a smart place to be looking for shorts. And another move back down. Really, really aggressive bearish leg. You can see price did break structure there as well. So I'm still very much with the bearish bias with pound. For me to flip that bias, I would say price needs to take out this high. If we could see a move to take out that high, that would make me at least reconsider things. I might not necessarily bullish straight off the bat because we still do have resistance above our heads there. But that would make me pause my bearish bias if we were to do that. So yeah, that's my kind of fail safe for Pound USD shorts. But at the moment, I am very much looking to see what we can do at this area. We've just taken out the lows, so I'm not so interested about jumping in shorts down at these prices here. I would like to see a deeper pullback before getting involved, similar to the one we had here. So yeah, for now, it's still pretty bearish on Pound USD. Dollar CAD, pretty interesting move to the upside, really aggressive move. We're going to take a look at the FXCM one. Really aggressive move to the upside there, taking out the high. And now I'm looking to see if price can go take out this high. And that's where I look for opportunities around 1.392. Because I was shorting from here this week, looking for the retest and a continuation. Didn't hold, price rallied straight through. And also took out the highs there as well. So I did say, once that price does take out that resistance, my focus now shifts more to the high and the low of the range. So 1.392 more or less, or 1.372. Of course, price is nowhere near there, so the focus is more around these areas here. So looking to see what price can do there. Technically speaking, dollar CAD still very much in a bearish trend. This is our last high, which gave us this low, and this could still be a bigger correction. This could still be a bigger correction for price to continue lower. But again, I'll play it, you know, on the safer side of things. I won't be looking for such a big move, especially at the highs here. I might look for a reaction back to some of these areas. If I can call it a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 into those areas, I'll be very happy to lock in profits. But yeah, dollar CAD now, the focus is at the high. Let's see what we do here. Very bullish move. There might be some lower time frame corrections to consider for a buy opportunity. This is a very commanding move. I'm not too sure if we'll pull back all the way down here, but maybe price might give you a nice correction into this lower time frame area on the hourly chart. Maybe something like this for a nice buy, maybe later today or maybe early tomorrow. That could be a nice setup to take some longs back into that high, and then potentially we can discuss some shorts. That's something I might be interested in as well because I really like the momentum. So yeah, dollar CAD, a bit more upside on the cards, and then maybe some sells around 1.392. As for Aussie dollar, so Aussie dollar finding support at the lows here. Looks like we are kind of struggling a little bit. Maybe a bit of a range could be looking to form. Again, I don't mind some Aussie dollar buys, to be honest, a little bit lower down in this area, because this is where we kind of really kick-started the move. Brief consolidation, really aggressive move to the upside, taking out these highs. Also coming back to retest the high there as well. This looks like a pretty smart place to me to try and position yourself long for another buy. So I don't mind if Aussie was to fall a little bit further into 0.655. I think that would be a respectable area for a long. And I quite like it because price is finding support right now. So I could see price maybe consolidate, trap some early buys, then sell off, and then give us the big recovery potentially. Even if it's just a push back into resistance, that would still be a good idea. So yeah, Aussie dollar, keep an eye on the longs, but I do want price to see lower prices first before I do investigate that further. Right now, kind of flat, so not really too interested what's going on there. It looks, even if I drop a bit more intraday, yeah. I mean, I do think price can still sell off. That was a really nice bearish leg. There still might be a correction for it, but I'm not interested because it is really flat at the moment. So staying away from Aussie dollar until we get to these prices here. As for New Zealand dollar, that was pretty bearish yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, it did break out consolidation, took out some of these lows here as well. Looks like we're coming back into support down there. So there might be a bit of a bounce here for New Zealand dollar just because it's a significant level of support. You know, this is still where we had a lot of momentum and we're coming back into those areas. So I still do think this could be an area for a bounce. Do I expect price to find support and rally back to highs or this high? No, not really. I wouldn't necessarily be confident to bank on that happening. More so just a bounce for us to potentially see a bigger pullback and maybe we see lower prices. We have been pretty consistent with the low highs. Even with this pullback, we just about spiked through, but we maintain resistance there. So the bears are still very much in control. I think these lows probably will be taken out, but there might be some nice short-term buys. I personally wouldn't really entertain the idea, but again, if you're looking for like a short-term reaction trade off a low, this is where you could probably find a good opportunity for that, especially a bit more intraday, like an hourly or a 30-minute chart. I think there could be some intraday shorts off this area if we're nice and corrective in the pullback. That could still be a very nice place for a short. 0.585, I'd watch out for that. That's probably more of a setup for tomorrow or maybe Monday. But that could still be a nice area for a short. Powerful momentum from that area. As long as we're nice and corrective, that could give us another bearish leg back into lows and maybe even to break through them as well. Now for gold. Gold's interesting. I was actually debating some shorts this morning for gold. I still am keeping a close eye on that because that hasn't invalidated yet. I quite like the price action for gold. I was talking about some buys yesterday for this one. I said if price can push back into the lows here, react well, I think this is a great place for a buy. We also had this demand zone to our left, so this was a very interesting area. But price just dumped straight through that. No rejection at all. You can see the hourly chart, brief bullish candle there, but momentum maintained, and the bears were very victorious in breaking through that zone. And you can see a really, really big bearish leg. So somewhat of a statement move there for gold. Of course, gold on the high time frames is very, 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 very bullish. So taking any shorts for gold is definitely counter trend. It is definitely an aggressive idea. Even if you do have bearish structure and a good entry, you know, the conditions are just not in your favor. But Gold is going to retrace at some point. We are seeing some healthy bearish structure. We are seeing some fade on the highs. This could be a nice idea to go short gold for a short period of time. And again, it's a risky trade. If you do get stopped out on this idea, don't be surprised. So you can potentially reduce risk on this idea. But I am looking at gold. We are starting to fail here. I'm seeing some wicks to the upside. Bearish engulf candle just about. Not the most convincing, to be honest. But we are starting to see some rejection there. And I quite like the structure in the 15-minute chart as well. You've got some lower lows and lower highs creeping into the market. As we can see the consistency there. So potentially, are we going to form another one? We've just pulled back into a nice area of supply here, which did kickstart a really bearish, aggressive leg, which took out this low and also took out this low here as well. So I'm seeing a lot of momentum there. We've just gone and taken out some highs here, potentially some early sellers out the market as well. And potentially recovery of that could be a nice entry. And I probably would suggest very, very cautious management of the position. So as we start coming back into this area, keeping a very close eye. If the market does start to find support and starts to pick up, maybe just close the trade early. This is not really a trade where you kind of just want to sit, hold, and just let the market do its thing. Because if momentum does pick up to the buyers, we could be on a really big wave here. So it's a trade that I would manage very closely. If it does play out, we could see a lovely swing back to the low here, which would be a really nice trade. But yeah, there is a lot up against it. And I was keeping an eye on silver as well, which was very bullish this morning, which again was another factor that did kind of make me question whether it's still a good idea to short gold. Because I do like keeping a close eye on the correlation between silver and gold. So if silver's bombing to the upside and I'm looking to short gold, that is a bit of a red flag. Because potentially gold could be lagging behind a little bit and it might catch up. It could also mean that silver potentially could plummet as well. So I'm keeping a close eye on that. Of course, silver, really aggressive move, taking out highs. Again, I'm not really seeing a good buy for silver anyway. I know this momentum is good, but I want to see how we do retrace. Because you can see every time price does take out a high here, it does come straight back down. So it creates a new high, pullback, creates a new high, pullback, creates a new high. I wouldn't be surprised if you do form another pullback. And a move like this for silver would help gold see some downside too. So I wonder if this pattern is going to repeat, even though we've been so aggressive to the upside. So it definitely is more of an aggressive trade, 100%, if you're looking to short gold. Silver, I wouldn't look to short, way too aggressive, still seeing a lot of momentum and a pretty strong close in the 4-hour chart. We might see a pullback, but not much there. So I'm going to keep a close eye on gold. It's definitely still a question mark now. I'll see what type of entries we can get. If things look good, I may give it a stab. If we can see a solid close below this, I may give it a stab. But it's going to be a trade which, yeah, I'll be very cautious with. Anywho, welcome to the chat, ladies and gents. Hope everyone is doing good. Yes, we'll take a look at US 30 as well. Among which US indices are the best to short now for medium term? Okay, yeah, we can take a look at that as well, because we have seen some nice downside for some of the indices, haven't we? We can take a look at a bunch of them. Rexus, good morning, welcome to the stream, hope you're doing good. Yusuf, welcome, good morning, hope you're doing good, my man. I am doing good, thank you, hope you're well. Samuel, welcome to the stream, good morning. GJ 5 minute, okay, GJ, I was keeping an eye on GJ, I like GJ going into, I was keeping an eye on pound yen yesterday. I was like, okay, there might be something here in terms of longs, because it looks like GJ is potentially forming a bit of a bottom to continue higher. So I was like, I'm going to keep a close eye on pound yen. But waking up and seeing how price has been moving since the Asian session till this morning, it's been super, super corrective, which has kind of put me off the long idea, really. I wanted to see a bit more cleaner momentum and a cleaner trend. Yeah, not quite seeing that with GJ at the moment. So I'm still bullish, but being a bit more careful with the buys for GJ for the time being. Okay, so we shall go through US 30. I just want to see how this candle closes for gold, because I may take an entry in this position. Hey, what's up, Bashi? Welcome. Hope you're doing good. CS Integrated, my man. What is up? Welcome to the stream. Doctor, what's up? Any USD long positions? Are you on? No trades for me at the moment. Dollar CHF, here we can take a look at that. We did have Swiss interest rates this morning. Didn't cause too much movement. Sometimes that could be a big event. Well, it is a big event. But in terms of the markets, it can be a big moving event. Didn't see too much movement today. I appreciate it, Bashi. Yeah, I've been sleeping in the gym, to be honest. Yusuf. Yeah, we'll go through GJ. Dollar CHF will add. Pound yen will add. I just want to keep an eye on this gold position. It's got a minute till that candle does close. What is up? CS Integrated. Yeah, I will take a look at DXY. It's just because of the high we're trading in like an hourly chart. Okay, this candle's looking interesting. Hey, what's up, Rory? Back again. Love it, my man. Consistency there. So yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on this gold position. I might look to take the trade here. How are we doing with the... Okay. Stop loss size is not too bad. I might give it a go, actually. I'll see how we close. If it does close below that, I'll take the position. Now this is going to be an aggressive trade because gold is still pretty bullish, but I'm going to reduce the risk. And I'll close it early if momentum's not going well. Okay, I'll give it a stab. Going to be a bit late on the entry though. Hope he doesn't move too much. One second, ladies and gents. Okay, taking the position, reduce risk on this one because it is really aggressive. But in terms of targets, I think I'll just keep it really simple back into this area. Not even a 1-to-1. I think I'll probably go break even. Not break even. Break even is way too early there. I might take some partials. If this was like a normal position, I probably would just target this low here. And then this low. Those are my two targets. But because of gold being so bullish, I'm going to be extra careful. So yeah, this area here, 37.40, that's my first kind of area which I'll start to either reduce risk in terms of trading my stops a bit closer or actually just take some profit off the table. It depends on momentum and how we're looking. If we just drop really hard, okay, I might just move stops a little bit, not take profit. If it's giving me wicks and stuff, I might look at some early exits there. But yeah, we'll see how that idea does continue. And this is the final target back to the prior low. Okay, I'll go through some pairs. I know you guys requested dollar CHF, GJ, US 30. I will take a look at those. And we'll go take a look at the DXY as well. So they annoy me, M1 calling price left, right, and center, but doesn't give clean entry. Yeah, I mean, especially with the M1 as well, it's going to move around a lot. It is going to move around a lot, but I think just keep things really simple in terms of what you're looking for, and let price fluctuate, let price do its thing. Because especially with the M1, price is going to dance, going to fluctuate, and as long as you know what you're looking for, you don't want to get, roped into a position just because you might miss the move. Because, yeah, the M1's going to be so many moves and so many opportunities. It's just about picking the best one that fits the plan, of course, which is the important bit. But yeah, I want to keep a close eye on that position. So I'll be flicking back and forth from charts back to gold, because it's definitely a position I'm going to manually manage, rather just set and forget. So I'll keep an eye on that. I do want to shout out the platform. I'll quickly go for US30 first, because you did request it ages ago. Then I'll go through other pairs as well, GJ, DXY, all of that jazz. Anyway, so with the Dow Jones, we are super corrective. So you said shorts from current price. There was actually some really nice shorts yesterday, which we talked about. Really nice short on the 15-minute chart. Lovely kind of wick there, taking out the high, coming back into a nice area of supply, then a really nice move back into these lows here. Now, would I look to short US30 now? No, not really. I think the move has kind of already done its job, and now we're back at support. Of course, it doesn't mean price can't go lower. We can, of course, go lower. But would I want to take entries here? No, not really. I'm seeing a lot of wicks here. This is not the time or place to be looking to try and sell the market. Yes, we can break out. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what price is going to do next. But I can tell you that this is showing some clear signs that buyers are stepping into the market, and we might see a bit of a push higher. So, I mean, if you can have a stop loss all the way above here, then maybe, because you can stomach a bit of a drawdown if price is still going to roll over, because this is a really aggressive wick, and this might just be a bit of a top there for US30 for a while before we do continue higher. So I could see that happening, but I think the timing of the entry and just the location is a bit off. So personally, I wouldn't short US30. If I have a quick look at NAS, because I know we had a drop on pretty much all the US indices. NAS looks a lot better. Again, for this one, I'm not too sure if I'll short at current price. I like to see a push up first, maybe closer to these areas, and then take a short. I think that would be a much more appropriate place for a sell. And then you'll probably have a better risk to reward back into this low as well. But this had a really nice bearish candle with some force, with some size behind it. Also breaking through some structure there as well. So I do like what I'm seeing with NAS. I'm seeing some intent there. And a pullback would be nice, especially taking out some of these earlier highs. Again, I'm not too sure if I would short now. If I was to short now, I'd still have a stop loss above the high there, which just really skews up risk to reward, because this would be your first target, and then a stop loss above there. You could have a stop loss here, but I think it's just a bit more riskier. And even with that, it's probably about a 1-to-1. So if you can get a push higher up, get a stop loss in the get an entry in this area, stop loss here. This suddenly becomes like a 1-to-2 idea. That's a bit more up my alley. So yeah, I don't mind NAS 100 shorts. A lot of momentum there. Still looking pretty fresh. Again, still counter trend, but the idea does make a lot more sense there. S&P looks better as well. S&P looks better as well. Really nice move to the downside. Starting to create some bearish structure now. It looks almost identical to NAS. And yeah, another push back into the low. So yeah, I don't mind US 100 or the S&P. US 30, no, I don't think that looks good for a short. I don't think any of them I would look to short at current price. But US 30, definitely the worst if you're looking to sell. Really aggressive rejections here, not the best place. So I'd watch out for that. NAS looks a lot better. And S&P looks a lot better. But again, both of them I would wait for a move up first, then a move down. Okay, so let me see how the gold position is doing. Then I'll quickly shout out the competition. Okay. Still early. If we do start to show momentum back above the high here, I'll probably just close the trade early as well. I'm going to be super aggressive with the management, because it's not the trade where I can sit in. Dollar CAD I didn't mind, because momentum wasn't necessarily against me or for me. I could hold that position a bit more confidently. Gold, bro, this could definitely rally. Anyway, we take a look at the Perps platform. So you guys, if you haven't checked out the Perps platform yet, it is linked in the chat at the top. I'm pretty sure I've pinned it so you can't miss it. This is part of the project we've been working on under Zentrix, looking at developing AI tools and platform for people to trade Perps on. You can trade a bunch of different cryptocurrencies here. FX, commodities, indices will be added to the platform very, very soon. You can connect with any Solana or Ethereum wallet and trade directly from your wallet, whether in a demo server or live. So if you want to test out the platform, get a feel for it, you can do that as well. And there are some AI features in the top left there that will do analysis in terms of risk sentiment, in terms of opportunities, provide 4-hour setups as well, and just give you another idea of what's happening with the market, like your personal kind of assistant or agent, if you will. But yeah, we are running a competition on the platform very, very soon. If you haven't signed up, make sure you check out the link and drop your email in it, and then you can participate. Again, bit of fun, nothing serious, and just get people trading on the platform. Okay, so we'll take a look at GJ, Dollar CHF. I'm pretty sure there's been other requests, but we'll start with those two and then work our way through it. Yeah, that's actually a good shout, actually. Let me do that. I'll do this. Shove gold all the way over there. Just need to see the trade, that's all. I think that's fair. And then we can do analysis here. Okay, so GJ. Probably should do it the other way around. Anyway, so GJ, yeah, GJ, I was keeping a close eye on this guy, but yeah, didn't really give me the momentum I was looking for. So I was kind of just keeping an eye on the price action this morning, but it was super, super corrective. We started firing some wicks to the upside in the last 4-hour candle as well. I think as price got back to this area, start to struggle a little bit. And if I drop to like the 50-minute chart, yeah, that looks horrendous. It's not showing me any momentum at all. So because of that, I will stay very, very cautious about jumping into longs. I still do expect this to be like a higher low and a run back to 201. But if price is not going to show me enough momentum, I'm not going to jump into that, because that way it just means that, okay, if we stay corrective, I could see potentially a lower high forming and a push back down. So if we were to maybe show some momentum, maybe even break through this area here, there might be some later pullbacks we can look at, which could take us back to the high there, and that could be something of interest maybe tomorrow or Monday or something like that. So that could be something to follow. But yeah, at the moment, not looking great. In terms of the 5-minute chart, 5-minute you can probably get away with it, because again, you're not looking for necessarily as big as a move. So I would suggest maybe a push back to this area here, and then you can look at maybe some buys off the low. I think that would be a smart place to jump into the trade. So back at 199.920, I think that would be a smart place to look for an entry, even just for a push back to a high. Let's say if price does fall over from here, I think that would be a smart place for a buy back into resistance. So yeah, not trying to be too intricate here. Really, really corrective. Even from a 5-minute chart, I wouldn't necessarily be looking to target highs. You can see a lot of resistance here, and price just create a new high, and now it's pushing back down. So yeah, with pound yen, I think buys are still the best bet. You are still seeing very consistent higher highs and higher lows, so that would be the direction I look to trade in. But equally, as soon as we come back to major resistance, I think I'll call it a day there. So yeah, not in love with the price action with pound yen anymore. Super, super corrective. In terms of dollar CHF, we'll take a look at DXY as well. So yeah, dollar CHF back at highs here, or almost. This is the level I said at the start of the week. I'm keeping a close eye because I don't mind some shorts up at the high here. It almost looks identical to the DXY, so I'm basically in the same situation as the dollar. So we can take a look at that in a moment. I'm looking to see what price can do at the highs here. If we can reject well, again, we're trading a nice area of supply here. We've been very, very consistent with these lower highs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we put a fifth? Potentially. And if we reject well, I can see price potentially tank back to lows here. So that is the plan for dollar CHF. It's again, similar to Euro as well, just kind of flipped to really consistent with the lower highs. Euro has been very consistent with the higher lows. So I'm looking to see if we can keep that up and then push off this low here as well. But either which way, dollar's going to be the deciding factor. So looking for rejection at the highs there. In terms of intraday, you might find some nice buying opportunities to take it one more leg to the upside. So a push back to, I'd probably say this is a nice area of demand. Push back to this area, then the long could look good. And then we can speak about some shorts. Otherwise, I would leave it alone. And then in terms of the DXY, this is the turning point I'm looking at. If DXY can break structure, then I'll be really bullish with this one. And I'll be looking at pullbacks intraday maybe next week, because it will probably take a day for us to break through. So, and it's already Thursday. So yeah, next week I'll be looking at pullbacks to try and buy DXY, maybe back to some of these areas on our left. But yeah, dollar's looking pretty bullish to me. It just depends what we do here, because equally, if we do reject this area, then I could be looking at a double top forming, maybe the sells and dollar CHF forming, maybe the buys and euro forming, and that could just be a big turning point in terms of, okay, if we are going to sell, this is the time and place for us to sell, really. If we do start continuing to the upside and breaking through resistance there, then yeah, I'm not going to be so bullish, so bearish on the DXY anymore. So that's kind of my take. How is the gold position doing? Not too good at all. Looks like momentum's picked up with the buys there. It's about to close in 8 seconds, 7 seconds. I could just close the position now because momentum has already shifted against me. I did say if price takes out that high there, but it's pretty much 90% of the way there. So I'll probably close half, take half the loss, leave the other half, and then see what the other candle does next. And if it's still looking bullish and potentially closing above the high of the red candle, I'll just close the rest. But yeah, momentum did not pick up for the bears there. Or at least not yet anyway. But yeah, I'll close half. Okay, gold not playing ball at all here. Nice setup, did tick the plan, but looks like the gold bulls are just very much in town. We'll see what the next candle does. That will close at 11, so I'll get the hourly candle close as well. Might just be a wick and then a bullish close. So yeah, that is showing momentum is still with the buyers. Unless we get a big recovery and it closes back below, then things are looking good again. If not, then yeah, momentum is definitely against me. So you go, not doing its job there, unfortunately. We'll take a look at. Should do it. Danny, that's funny you said that. I literally just posted a day in life yesterday. I'm still struggling sleeping pattern. It was all over the place. Yeah, that will be. Yeah, again, a good sleeping pattern will definitely help with your trading routine. But yeah, funny you mentioned that. I literally just posted one yesterday on the channel. My most recent video. You'll see it if you take a look. But I might do more of those videos, to be honest. What's up, Remy? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that was a good idea, Basher. Keep it another view. What's up, T? Welcome to the stream. Thoughts on platinum? We'll take a look. I haven't looked at platinum in a while. Raphael, yep. Naz, what a short target? 2-4. Okay, we'll take a look at Naz. Gold, nice entry, bro. Appreciate it. Minor 4-hour break of structure market, so now should travel to the gold to the support level. Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan for gold, but we're looking really, really bullish at the moment. Looks like this candle just kick-started with some momentum. So, yeah, I mean, it was an aggressive position, as I mentioned. I did half my risk taking the position as well. There was never a position which, in terms of the conditions, was in my favor. Gold is still very, very bullish. We have broken through some structure, so I'm trying my luck to see if we can catch the next lower high and continue back to support. But after that 50-minute candle close back above resistance there, that is a warning sign. And again, this was like a normal position. I say normal. In terms of normal, it just means higher time frames in my favor, because that's normally how I look to trade. But if this was a position which I usually take with the higher time frame confluence, I wouldn't close half my position early with a candle like that. And the only reason I'm doing it is because of the conditions gold's in. So yeah, being super conservative with that one. And if you close like that, I'm just going to close the rest of the position and take the L on that. Good morning, Yoshi. We take a look at pound. Okay, so I'll go through platinum and I went through dollar CHF, didn't I? Yeah, we'll go for platinum next. And I'll go through that NAS 100 idea as well. Yeah, pound USD, Yoshi, no problem. We'll take a look. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Remy, I'm in a gold buy, low risk though. Well, hopefully my trade can give you some liquidity for price to go high, because at this rate, momentum is not picking up for the bears at all. I'm a smarty pants now, I know, Bash. It's because you got experience with this, with the 1 minute chart. Because everything with the 4 hour to me, I just have one screen. But with the 15 minute, I might have to do this a bit more often now. The entry was a bit aggressive. Yeah, I mean, it was right at the highs. The reason why I like the entry is because price took out the prior high here, tapped into a significant area of supply, which kick-started this bearish move. And then we got a nice close just back below the low. It was an aggressive trade. As I mentioned before, I got inside. I knew the risk to it. But I like the position because if price was going to sell off, this probably would be the high of that move. And hopefully I'll be able to catch the sell back into the low. But that is not the plan. Or at least not what's going to plan. Momentum's just picked up there. Might not even close the position. Maybe price might exit the position for me. But yeah, momentum did not go to plan there for gold. Okay, so we'll take a look at NAS and platinum. Looking for dollar yen sells. Yeah, dollar yen's back at resistance, so dollar yen might not be a bad shout for a short. And especially depends what DXY does at resistance, because if DXY does sell from here, then there could actually be some nice shorts on dollar yen as well. But let me quickly take a look at NAS for Raphael. So NAS 100, as I mentioned earlier, I like the shorts for this one. You said a push to 24,200, which would be 24,200 down here. Yeah, so again, when you're looking for shorts, again in the bullish market like I'm doing right now, you need to be quite conservative with targets. You can't be too optimistic. There's nothing wrong with having big targets, but when things are definitely going against you, you have to play into that a little bit. You have to be quite cautious and maybe have some extra targets along the way, which you can manage the position, because there's nothing necessarily wrong about targeting this area. Nice demand zone, really aggressive push up. Price could very much come back and test this area. It's not even that far away, but because momentum is very much against us and we could very much double bottom and continue higher, I would at least have this low as my first target, so I can see what price does there. And if it does start reacting and finding support and seeing some upside, I can close the trade or reduce risk or manage it in some way. There's nothing necessarily wrong about having that as a target, but this will have to be an area you have to consider initially. Otherwise, that could be an area which the price does reverse and goes against you. So I would be very, very careful of that. But yeah, in terms of targeting 24,200, I think that's a pretty reasonable area. I think that's a smart area to be looking for buys as well. So if price can get there, there could be some nice bullish opportunities. But yeah, I would want that move up first before the drop. And in terms of platinum, I'm pretty sure I have it down here. Yeah, so in terms of platinum, looking very bullish. And that's not a good sign for gold sales either. Seeing another metal rally like no tomorrow. But yeah, looking very, very bullish. Let me go to the weekly chart. Okay, I'm probably sleeping on platinum a little bit. To me, it looks like there's a lot of opportunity back to highs, maybe. Because we've had this long consolidation, now we're seeing some strength. So I don't think there's much to do with platinum in terms of just look for pullbacks and buying opportunities. I mean, right now we're looking super, super bullish. So unless you're in a position, you're waiting for price to retrace again. And we have left behind a lovely consolidation and a strong breakout. So you would be looking for at least something like this, even if you are intraday, because there's just not a lot of opportunity there. You're seeing strong candles. You need price to pull back against you, against the market, to find some opportunities, and this would be a great place. That's a really big psychological level as well. I just realized 1,500, really big level as well. So that could be a significant level where price breaks and continues quite far as well. So I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, looking for some pullbacks for platinum, looking very bullish. I do think we can see a lot more upside for this one. Even if you're just looking for intraday pullbacks, you know, for a day or for 2 days, momentum looks really strong there. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. We'll take a look at dollar yen sales for LFTJ as well. I think gold is now consolidating, waiting for today's factory red news to change its direction. Possibly it could be the case. I mean, I don't know if I've got the time to be waiting for that, to be honest, because I don't have a lot of room for error. Don't have a lot of room for error for this position. But maybe it does get stuck between this area here, and then it does wait for red news. But the only problem with that is, if we are going to range, gold does have the tendency to just to give you a little wick before the drop there. So I am in trouble if that's the case. Again, when I do take these type of entries, momentum should kick in very soon. Maybe I'm a little bit early. Maybe price does come back to test support again, then it kicks off. Sometimes that happens. But really with these type of entries, price is getting ready to drop in the next 3-4 candles. And if it doesn't drop in then, probably price is going to hit my stop loss. So I can either look to scale out of the position or just call it a day and wait to see how things can develop. Of course, sometimes you get into a position, it consolidates for a while, then it drops. Very rarely though, very rarely. The reason why I like these type of positions is because, you know, price is taking out a prior high, grabbing liquidity, now is getting ready for the drop. The fact that it hasn't dropped yet is a big red flag. But yeah, it could be waiting for the afternoon to actually see momentum. Maybe there'll be a better entry come New York potentially, so I might keep an eye on that. But we'll see. Okay. Okay, we'll take a look at dollar yen next for LFTJ. No problem, Yoshi. Just giving back to some subscribers today. Just giving back some liquidity to some loyal subscribers. Will gold go up today? Hopefully not. But I'm not going to lie, probably. Momentum has not picked up for the sellers. I mean, again, speaking from strictly price action, if I'm looking primarily at gold, and let's say I'm not in a position, my thought process would be, okay, we've got some bearish structure in, we're seeing some low lows and low highs. I know that gold is super bullish in the higher time frame, so I'm putting that to the back of my mind for now. But in terms of intraday, we are still seeing lower highs. We're still coming back into supply. This here would only be an area which I would consider a sell. If I'm looking to buy gold, at least on the 15-minute chart that is, I would need to see some type of correction, at least coming back down to some of these areas or maybe back to the low there. And from here as well, let's try and take a buy to see if I can trade gold. In terms of will gold go up today, of course, if I knew the answer to that, you know, I would I'd be just trading gold pretty much every day. I don't know the answer to that. All I can say or point out are areas where sells will make sense, buys will make sense, and we can just, you know, trade from that point of view. In this area, sells do make a lot of sense. A lot of confluence is in this area, so that's why I enter the sell position there. If price is going to rally and break through, of course, potentially I do take the loss and price just already flies and does what gold is doing. The only big reason why the sells, why you wouldn't take the sells, is just because of how bullish gold is in the higher time frames. If this was like a FX pair and in a more of a corrective environment, maybe at major resistance, this would be a trade which I'll take 10 times out of 10. But yeah, in gold's situation, it's a more of an aggressive trade, absolutely. But if I'm going to look to try and buy gold, I would need to see another correction. Your price should just swept these highs, tapping into supply. Not the place for me to be looking to buy on the 50-minute chart. I'd wait for something like this to happen, maybe an entry in this area, and then boom. That would be how I look to try and trade it. But we'll see. And hence, that's kind of why that's my first kind of target for gold as well, is because if price does get there and reacts well, it's because I know that if I'm a buyer of gold, that's probably where I look to try and see if I can take it long. So that would be my first area, to try and manage the trade, which is a little bit early. It's not even a 1-to-1, but beggars can't be choosers in this situation. So yeah, that's kind of my take on gold. But will it rally? Will it do this? No idea. No idea. I'm just trading what I see in front of me. So yeah, that's my take on gold. Anywho, we'll take a look at dollar yen before I do forget the pair. So, JP, there we go. So in terms of dollar yen, we are back at resistance. So LFTJ mentioned some shorts at the high here. And of course, we do have a lovely range on the 4-hour chart. So if you're going to short the pair, this is the place to do it, because it's 50-50 right now. Price is either going to break out and we're going to see price start trend higher, maybe a push back to the highs here. If price is going to fail, then you're going to see some shorts coming to play. It might not necessarily be a full swing back to lows here. It might be a push here. So that would potentially be your first kind of area to keep an eye on. But it's either price is going to break out or not. At the moment, judging how price is reacting, it is a little bit flat, which I don't mind actually. I quite like it when price does move to a high or low resistance and starts to range, because the way I look at it is, okay, price has got to a significant area, people are buying, selling at this area, then I'm kind of waiting for price to kind of snap out of that, maybe a strong close or maybe a wick to the upside and a recovery, and that's my time to enter to potentially take advantage of the breakout or the failed breakout. So that's really what I'm looking for. So I quite like the fact that price is quite flat and range bound, because then we're kind of waiting for something to happen to kickstart the sells or the buys if you're looking for a breakout. So yeah, I like where we're trading. Nice area. Keep an eye on that. A little bit too early to say if we were all short or not, because all it does take is one big candle to do this, and then okay, we're looking bullish, and vice versa. So I would wait for a bit more development there. Keep an eye to see how candles do close. But yeah, in terms of location, it makes a load of sense to me. And of course, keep an eye on the DXY, because that will have it say too. If the dollar does start to fail at highs, then you should be looking a lot better at the sells here. If price is seeing a strong close above the high there, then I'll probably rethink that. So yeah, dollar yen shorts, definitely a good location to keep an eye for it. Entries need a bit of work though, but that could change pretty quickly. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. Okay, you're long gold as well. Yeah, okay, providing a lot of liquidity today then. On the M1 showing buys gold. Everyone's taking some bullish, everyone's taking some longs now on gold. I mean, we did see a nice wick there, but it's not significant enough for me to get excited. It still means that price is holding resistance here, but I need a lot more than that if this is going to turn around. I'll wait for the next candle to close. If it does start to fill the wick there, I'll just exit the position. Or of course, if it doesn't take me out of the trade itself. Don't worry, if you take that, I'll send you the M1 signal. You have 2 losses or 1 really good win. Yeah, I mean, again, trading is all about the risk management. You're going to lose, you're going to take losses. It's all part of the game. As long as you're taking trades which are of good quality, which makes sense and fit your plan well, that's really where the focus is. You're going to take losses. As long as you're not betting your whole account on the trade, then of course there we've got a problem. But the losses are going to come. But yeah, send me that 1 minute signal, Bashi. Need to make the profits back. Rexus, I think it's a good entry, just loading up. Ooh, Rexus still got a bit of faith. I like that, Rexus. I like the positivity. Again, it was a nice wick, so that gives a slight glimmer of hope, a slight glimmer of hope. But for the most part, it's because we're anti-trend here. So even a wick, we need more than that. We need momentum. That's the real thing I'm talking about and looking for. Which is why I like the candle here, because it was showing some momentum and price was breaking the lows, which is why I entered on that candle. So the fact that price has pushed back up, not a good sign, because that momentum has basically failed. Yes, we're still rejecting resistance, but the bears need to jump in. The bears need to jump in if we are going to sell off. So yeah, there's a glimmer of hope, but we'll see. We'll see. Arhin, golden 4 hour, sell side liquidity, so market is bullish, a major high in the 4 hour. Yep, we'll have to wait and see, my man. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully not stings a bit, 100%. Okay, not trading because that's my window, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, of course, the 1 minute chart will predict pretty much every single thing that does proceed. It does come after it. So the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 hour, all have to come into play before the daily potentially makes a move. But yeah, we shall see. Are we buying gold or selling? I'm currently selling, but it's definitely not going to plan. So I wouldn't jump into some sales now because the momentum I was hoping for to continue is not continuing. So I wouldn't jump in. If we were to close back below here, then yeah, the trade is very much back on and the shorts look good. If price doesn't do that, I wouldn't be looking to short gold anymore because it looks to me that the momentum we had here basically reversed on a dime. Now price is looking pretty bullish and basically used it as support rather than continue to break through, which is what I was looking for. So unless we get back below that low, I would not advise shorting gold. Ryan, how long have you been trading gold? Good question. Well, I'll probably say maybe 3 years. 3 years, I'll say, for gold, because I never touched gold for a good part of my trading journey at the start. It was just FX pairs. I was trading exotics at the time as well, so majors, minors, exotics. I was just focusing on that, and then I only touched gold when I started the YouTube channel. Well, maybe a couple of years after that. Never used to trade gold before. What's up? Follow the trend. Welcome to the stream. Oil, okay, we can take a look at oil as well. What's your confidence for the sell? Okay, good question. I'll quickly run through that. So yeah, basically, the idea for this trade is I'm looking for one of these lower highs to form again. Price has been really consistent with these lower highs. We saw a really aggressive bearish move, which did take out this low and this low. So we're seeing some structure being broken from a really aggressive bearish leg. And gold, of course, is quite overextended. So the whole thought process by this, of course, gold is still very, very bullish and it is still an aggressive position. But the thought process is gold is quite overextended. It's hit some major areas where we could look for a deeper retracement. We have seen some consistency with the lower highs. It's not like I've just tried to short gold at highs here. It's not like gold is just being blitzing to the upside. I'm trying to predict a high. We have seen some evidence of lower highs forming. We have pulled back into a strong area of supply, which gave us this move, which broke through the lows. Price already created resistance earlier. It's already swept that, potentially giving some liquidity for the move lower. And we've already seen some healthy rejection and some bearish momentum kicking in. So the idea is, can we take advantage of maybe some retracement on gold, because it is quite stretched. We've already got some evidence of lower highs forming, and we pull back into a strong area of confluence, and I'm pretty sure we probably wicked into maybe the 0.618 of the fib, but I don't really focus too much on the fib anymore. So yeah, that's really the confluence for the trade. In terms of location, just to see if I can take advantage of some counter retracement. But yeah, and again, a big thing about these type of trades is momentum, which I've been mentioning. So yeah, haven't really seen the momentum kick in yet, but we'll keep an eye. Hasn't failed yet, still seeing some wicks there. We'll see how that progresses. Anyway, let's go through oil. Someone did mention oil earlier. Probably someone's mentioned another pair, but I've completely forgot. I'm a bit distracted because of the trade. So if you have mentioned a pair before and I haven't looked at it yet, just drop it back down in the chat, and I shall take a look. But yeah, Elizabeth, we'll take a look at oil for you. No problemo. So in terms of oil, I've been... Oh no, I changed the wrong chart. Let's get that back to gold. There we go. This oil. So in terms of oil, yeah, the way I see oil is kind of just range bound. Oh, not today. There we go. So yeah, the way I see oil is a market that's ranging. So I'm not so interested with price action inside this area because it's quite congested and difficult to decipher. I need price to kind of make a statement in terms of where it wants to go. If I do see a strong close like this, breaking back above key resistance, because you can see support there, back of resistance, basically holding us, holding us below this level. If you can see a strong candle breaking back above, the way I see oil now is that price has had a really bullish leg, pull back into a strong demand zone, potentially formed a bit of a bottom, and this breakout, this candle here, will cement that, okay, this bottom is potentially formed, and now I'm looking at pullbacks and corrections back into the high. So that becomes my opportunity to trade oil with some good probability, because I know price is likely to form a bottom here. We're back above key resistance. We're seeing momentum back into the market. There's a good chance we do push back into that high. So I'll be pretty bullish upon then, and simple pullback opportunities would be the plan. On the other side of the coin, we do have equal lows here. Prices Prices respecting support very, very well. If we are going to sell off, then I do need to see price break below this. And if we do see price break below this, this will tell me that, okay, this bearish trend is still in play. This was just a bit of a pause, a bit of an accumulation before the sellers take control again. And then maybe price does push back to the prior low here. And I could be looking for pullbacks along the way. Keep clicking the wrong tool today. Then we can look for pullbacks along the way, and then yeah, a push back into lows, so on and so forth. So that would very much be the plan there. So really just waiting for a breakout. That's really what I'm trying to, that's the point I'm trying to get home, because we are already flat right now, and trading inside here, shorting the highs, buying the lows is not such a bad idea, but a better one would be waiting for price to make its mind up and then look for the opportunities in that direction. So that's really what I'm waiting for. There might be some short-term sell opportunities at resistance. Prices may move back to the high here, although the rejection is not looking too good there. Just left behind a pretty big wick to the downside. Maybe you might form a bit of a double top. I'll keep an eye on that. Maybe if we were to push back to the high, reject well, there might be a nice entry there. So there might be some nice short-term sell opportunities at resistance, but nothing where I'll look for a big swing position or try and look for anything significant. It would be more so, okay, price is back at resistance. There might be a nice short-term sell back to some areas of demand, and I can manage the trade from there. Any kind of bigger swing, pullback opportunity, like I said, I'll wait for those breakouts on the daily, which again might take a few days, but I do think the opportunities will be worth it. Okay, where were we? Follow the trend. New Zealand CHF continuation sells at current price. Okay, we shall take a look at that as well. Doctor, gold entry. Momentum that's been a trend, so it takes its time. True. But yeah, it shouldn't take too long though. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm in a trade and price is just consolidating. Maybe it does eventually break in my favor, but with this type of entry, like I said, 3, 4, 5 candles should already be in profit if it's going to play out, of course. If not, then yeah, I will take the SL. But if we're dancing, not the best sign, especially when we're counter trend too. But it's a good point. Maybe price is going to take its time. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. If I do see momentum start to pick up, I will close early. I mean, I already closed half as well, so I've already taken a partial loss of that position. But I might close the rest if momentum does pick up. So yeah, New Zealand CHF, follow the trend, we shall take a look. Follow the trend, still respecting structure, creating lower highs. Okay, we shall investigate. Ryan, nice explanation, appreciate it. However, there's a change of character and it broke and closed above 37.50. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a psychological level to keep an eye on, which is around here. But yeah, I'm also focused on that kind of chart pattern and that kind of manipulation of the high and maybe a recovery. Again, I mean, with every trade you're going to take, there's always going to be a reason not to take it. There's obviously going to be some type of technical aspect which will favor the opposite bias. And I know, because I've definitely been guilty in the past of over-analyzing trades. Yeah, I mean, my plan is simply, if this is going to be a lower high, this is where I want to position myself. If I don't see momentum coming in, I will call it a day. But yeah, there's going to be some other reasons, which what you mentioned, Ryan, of why this trade potentially won't work out as well. I think the biggest reason is that gold is still very bullish on the higher time frame, so that's a big one too. But yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just, yeah, I was happy with the confluences. Of course, there always will be a reason why a trade potentially won't work out, and that's up to me to kind of revisit and investigate. Okay, was it smart to take this trade? And that's when the review and journaling comes into play. Appreciate it, Bashi. Okay, Rifat, don't spam the chat, please. There are other people here, and we literally got gold on the screen consistently on the left here. So if it breaks and closes below 37.50, your sell wicks kick in. Definitely also want to sell off, create more structure. Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense as well. It makes sense too. It's just I'm looking for that kind of counter trend move. Gold's very overbought, and again, gold can still very much continue higher. But I did reduce risk getting into the position. I only took half of what I usually do stake because of that. Because 90% of my trades, I want to be in the direction of higher time frame bias. That's where I find my best opportunities. I will sometimes go counter trend if I do believe a trend is a bit overextended, a bit overbought or oversold, and expecting a bit of retracement, and I've got some evidence to back that up as well. In this case, it would be the prior lower highs. The only thing in this situation, this is not like a usual FX pair, which is where I do most of my trading. This is gold, and it has been really aggressive. So because of that, I could have either not taken the position or take it with reduced risk, and I've decided to take it with reduced risk. No problem, Elizabeth, happy to help. Okay, so New Zealand CHF, we'll take a look for follow the trend. Danny, what is up? Should do this more often, taking live trades often. It helps a lot when you break it down, learning a lot when you do. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the reason why I haven't done it so much is because I normally trade in the 4-hour chart. And normally with that, I normally get my entries either in the morning prior to my stream or come New York. With the 50-minute chart, I'll get more opportunities and it'll be throughout the day. So I will still get opportunities before I do before I do start streaming. But as today proves as well, I'll get some opportunities during stream. So now that I'm trading the 15 as well as the 4-hour, there'll be more of this. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand the learning process with it. So yeah, there'll be more of this 100% with the 15-minute chart. Just with the 4-hour chart, I will still show trades and I'll still give you the analysis of why I took the position, but sometimes it won't be during the stream. I think most of the time it's not during the stream. But yeah, more of it will happen simply because I'm trading the 15-minute chart now. Okay, so in terms of New Zealand CHF, okay, price just gone and taken out the prior low. Damn, okay, so I'm pretty sure these are new all-time lows, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are new all-time lows. So yeah, with New Zealand CHF, now that we've just gone and taken out all-time lows, now's the time I kind of back off a little bit, because we've just gone and done something really, really significant, which is get to a price we haven't been before, and we've only just done that as well. It's not like prices continue for a little bit and stabilized. We could see price very much snap right back up, or maybe start to consolidate as kind of sellers start to exit positions. Because if you think about it, a lot of the big sellers for New Zealand CHF, if you're looking at targets, where would they put their targets? Probably at the all-time low, because there is no targets below that. Maybe they do have further expectations of, okay, I'm still expecting low prices for this chart, but definitely you're probably taking off some positions at the lows, and quite naturally we should see some type of pullback for New Zealand CHF, even if price is going to go lower. So there could be some short-term buys. Again, I still think it's really, really early for that. We're still creating lower lows and low highs. I haven't really seen any bullish momentum kick into the market, so I wouldn't be looking for buys just yet. Follow the trend. You mentioned continuation sales at current price. Yeah, I wouldn't do it at current price, my man. It's just because price is just taking out the prior low. So this is just a really awkward place. Doesn't mean price can't continue selling off. It absolutely can, but I think this is just a really awkward place for a short. So I personally wouldn't look to sell at current price. I would either want price to pull back. Even then, it's just a bit awkward as well. I say that because we've just taken up prior lows, so we might see a bigger pullback than usual. But this will be a much better place to short. Price has already stretched a bit, back in resistance, supply. It makes a lot more sense at these prices. Of course, you would have to wait quite a bit for the pullback, but it makes so much more sense to take some shorts here than here. So yeah, price could still, of course, very much continue. Intraday, if I drop to the 15, still not a bad place for a short, but it's just a really awkward place. I don't like getting involved when price is at those areas. I mentioned it early in the week with Euro. I mentioned it last week with DXY when it created a new low. It's just such an awkward place, and especially at all-time low or all-time high. So personally, because of that, I wouldn't take the trade. But yeah, you're right. The market's still bearish, still seeing lower lows and lower highs, but I would wait for much more significant pullback, even at the very least to retest the low and see what price does there. But personally, I would stay away for now. Ryan, your humble bro, very rare. I agree, analysis will kill confidence and hesitate entry. Yeah, of course. From experience, I can tell you that every trade you're ever going to take, you're always going to find a reason not to take the position, no matter how confident you are in the position as well. You always find a reason not to take the position. So you just need to have those kind of guidelines of what dictates a good trade and stay within those guidelines. If you can do that, you're good to go. And of course, there will be tweaks you make along the way. I'm not just saying that, okay, be blind to anything that doesn't agree with your bias. You do want to be aware of it, and you do want to record that so you can look back at your trades, say, okay, yeah, I'm taking trades according to my plan, but I'm still seeing this happen quite a lot, and it does turn to be a lot of losers. Okay, maybe I need to investigate that, maybe not take those positions with that particular confluence or whatever the situation is. So it's definitely something to note, because that will improve you as a trader as you go along. Because trading is not always, especially discretionary trading is not always about just following rules. Rules is what keeps you afloat, but you need to be able to think on your feet and say, okay, because of this, it's probably not a good trade. So you're definitely right in that aspect. You just don't want to overdo it as well. It's a fine line. LFTJ, okay, Euro we'll take a look at next. Ryan, would you explain your strategy, bro? Subscribed. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much straightforward in terms of what I mentioned with gold. But yeah, I'll recap it in a moment. I'll just go for Euro first. I just want to get through some pairs so I don't get backed up. But yeah, I'll go for it. Dachi, oh, you're in the sell with me. Okay, let's both provide some liquidity to the market. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, momentum hasn't picked off now, so we're going to need price to start closing back below this area if this trade's going to recover. I mean, we've seen some nice wicks. The last 50-minute candle close, slightly bearish, but not really doing much for us. If this candle does pick up pace and like close up here, I would suggest to exit that position, because now we're actually gaining territory for the buyers. So you can see here, there's no successful candle closure above this area. If we do start to see some closures above that area, well, it's probably a sign that price is going to continue higher. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on this candle. Still has about 5 minutes left before it does close. But yeah, we'll see. I think waiting for prices growth was only good for the USA. Okay. Is that for... Okay. Another move to the downside, I bet. I mean, price is at a crossroad right now, so if we're going to move down for the dollar, we're at prime place for it. This high over here. Hey, appreciate it, Bashi. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell as well. It does really help out, and I do appreciate it. We'll take a look at Euro next. Rex says you short on gold as well. No problem, follow the trend, happy to help. I'm not in anything, I'm just supporting you. Appreciate it, Bashi. Appreciate it, Bashi. Need every bit of support with that momentum against me. Okay, so we'll go through Euro dollar. Am I on the right chart? So yeah, Euro, I'm keeping an eye for the buys at this low here. It's not looking particularly great right now, but things can change come the afternoon. Things can change very quickly, especially with some news as well. But my take on Euro basically, and I'll go through kind of my way I kind of view and analyze the market. My take on Euro is basically, okay, we've still got an uptrend at play. It's a bit of an awkward situation because price is just going to sweep these highs here. So we've gone and done our job. You know, price, since it created the most recent swing low, has gone and done its job in terms of taking out the high. So now we're coming into a new phase. Is the market going to have another bigger pullback potentially and come back to some of these areas and then maybe continue? Or are we just going to continue this 4-hour structure here and just be on our way? Or potentially reverse completely? Those are the three kind of, well, yeah, those are three kind of situations, or of course maybe a fourth. We might turn into a consolidation, but those are the three I'm kind of focused on. So if this 4-hour structure is going to continue, what I do want to see is evidence that momentum is picking up here. And then this is just a correction for us to continue higher. At the moment, price is still respecting this demand zone, so that's one tick. And price is still respecting support, so that's another tick as well. In terms of a good entry, I do want to see price wick through this low and then recover well. Sort of similar to what what gold did and how I entered there. I kind of want price to do that as well to convince me that support is really holding and buyers are stepping into the market at this price. And then I'll consider maybe some longs, at least back to this area. And if things go very well, maybe back to the high there as well. But I am going to be considering some buys here for Euro. basically anticipating a double bottom and another one of these higher lows forming. So that's really my take on euro for now. If we come crashing back down and we take out this low here, then I'll start to back away and probably discuss some shorts for euro actually, because that will be a break of structure. Price should just respect it, price just respecting major highs, and then this would be my opportunity. A pullback, maybe a retest of that prior low. We'll discuss more when it does set up, but that would be something I could consider. So yeah, with euro dollar, that would be the plan. And of course, DXY, pretty much the same thing as well, just the opposite. You know, what do we do at this high? If we break through structure here and take out this high here, well, that makes me pretty bullish. Are we looking to follow this structure to the upside and look for some type of longs? And if price does respect this area pretty well, are we looking at some shorts here? Again, at least for a push back into this area. But main targets back to the low here. So that's my kind of take on euro and the dollar. In terms of my trading style, I look to focus mainly on pullbacks. I'm looking to try and spot a higher time frame direction, trying to drop slightly lower. I don't normally drop much lower. Daily's the market normally used for direction, but it depends what time frame, because recently I just added the 15-minute time frame to my trading schedule or arsenal. But mostly, especially when I'm swing trading, I'm looking at direction on the daily. Let's say if it's an uptrend, I'll drop to the 4-hour chart and just look for 4-hour structure, so something like this. And I like pullbacks, which are really corrective after an impulse leg. So basically my plan is wait for an impulse leg, wait for a corrective movement, wait for an attempt to try and push the highs, wait for that to fail, and then try and buy the dip after, or maybe the third time if it fails again. And that's really my entry style for a lot of my flag patterns. Sometimes I will wait to try and enter on the momentum. So let's say if you get a strong impulse leg, okay, we just had another kind of close. Okay, another wick there. Okay, maybe there is some hope. Still no momentum though. Anyway, so let's say we got a nice impulse leg and then price does have a correction. Sometimes I will just wait for momentum to kick in and buy as price is breaking out, and then take advantage of momentum that way. But my strategy is simply just looking for pullbacks and continuations. That's really how I see the market. Sometimes I will look for continuations against the higher time frame trend if I feel like the market's overextended or hit some big levels, or show me signs that the momentum is about to reverse, again similar to gold. And then I'll look for, again, pullback opportunities, because this all is just a pullback. I'm looking for the pullback of this bearish leg here and looking to trade it. But this is the pattern I look to trade the most, kind of a fake of a high and a recovery. Yeah, and sometimes I will entertain break and retest, but there has to be specific conditions for that, because markets can disrespect levels very, very well. And that's how I take most of my trades. So hopefully that made sense. I tried to keep it very, very simple. Again, the strategy is not really the important bit. It's more so how you view and see the market and when you deploy your analysis and deploy your strategy. It's more so kind of, okay, kind of get a good read of the market, kind of find a probable move in the market, and then, okay, can I spot an entry to actually take advantage of that? That's kind of my thought process with trading. And then the way I enter, I keep it pretty simple. And in terms of entries itself, I just use candlestick patterns to enter. Hey, appreciate it, Danny. Thank you, my man. Really doesn't cost anything and you're helping the channel. Appreciate it, Danny. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the content, drop a like. Does really help out. I do really appreciate it. And thank you for that message, Danny. I still think it will flip. That's the positivity I need, Rexus. I mean, it is still providing a lot of wicks there. I can't lie. Gold is definitely teasing us right now. It's like, okay, am I going to break up? Maybe. And now it's just kind of flat. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I would suggest if we don't close there, we're good. Because that means resistance is still holding. And that's the resistance I basically sold from. So as long as that can hold, we're good. And if we can close back below this, we're really good. We should at least take some profit from that position at that point. Not at that point in particular, but I would expect price to then actually continue. If we do close above this, yeah, that's not good. I mean, I've been in this position for, what time did I take this position? I took this at 10:30, so I've been in the position for an hour. Haven't really progressed much. GR30, okay, we can take a look at the DAX, no problem. What's up, Lenny? What's up, Lenny? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, that's the worst, especially when you're looking at a move and you see it happen, but there's no entry for you to take it. And that's kind of what inspired me to trade more on the 15-minute chart. I'm not just trading the 15 because I just want to get nitty and gritty and take more trades. It's because a lot of the time on the 4-hour chart, I can see a swing happening, but, well, I'm already on the 4 hour. I can see a swing happening, but it doesn't have a deep enough pullback for me to get in. So the reason why start to trade more on the 15 as well as the 4 hour is simply for when the market's really aggressive and I'm not seeing big enough pullbacks. So I can still take advantage of the move. And if price does eventually have a deep pullback, I can still take advantage of the move in the 4 hour, which is what I normally would do, but it will give me another dynamic to my game. So I'm not always waiting for the deeper pullbacks. I can still take advantage of the shallow ones. And that's really what inspired me to start focusing a bit more on the 15 and adding that to my game as well. But yeah, especially when, I mean, even with the 15, there'll be moves on the 1 minute that'll happen without me. So, and again, I'm not here to take every trade as well, as none of us are. We're just here to take the best ones. But yeah, definitely annoying when you're looking at a bias, it plays out and you're not in the position. Especially if you didn't get an entry. If you did get an entry and you missed it, then it's like, okay, it's your fault. But if the market didn't provide, it didn't provide. Anywho, in terms of the DAX, we are very flat right now, aren't we? See, the DAX looks like a market which is running out of a lot of steam right now. It's still very, very bullish, but we're definitely having a tough time trying to create some new highs. We've wicked at the high numerous times here, and this tells me that, okay, we are tiring, at least for the consolidation, because it could still very much be a case where price does consolidate, then it takes one big bullish day to close above resistance, and then the trend's back healthy again. And of course, vice versa, we could close really aggressively below. That could kickstart a bit of a pullback. Then maybe price goes and puts a high low somewhere, tapping into some areas there too. So it depends what type of opportunities you're looking at for the DAX. So you're looking for some intraday positions, just some quick trades here and there, or you're looking for some swing opportunities. If you're looking for swing opportunities, then you're mostly waiting for price to break the high, break the low, and look for pullbacks after that, because that's when you'll see the biggest trading opportunities. If you're looking for some short-term moves, you might find some nice buys off the low here, or even some sells off the high, actually. I don't mind the sells here. I mean, it is a little bit choppy, so it's not the best conditions. But I quite like what I'm seeing, very consistent lower highs. I would suggest if you can move back to resistance, reject well, that could actually be a nice short there. Betting another one of these lower highs for a push back into the low, then maybe some buys at that area as well. Of course, it depends how we get there and how we react. I wouldn't suggest to buy straight away or sell straight away, but if you can reject well, maybe see some nice wicks to the upside. I do think that is a great location to find an entry, a stop loss above, and see if you can push back into lows, and likewise with the buys there as well. Not looking for any big moves. Like I said, I would wait for the breakout before looking at any big swings, because right now we're definitely in a consolidation phase. So price is building up. And when it does eventually break out, that's probably where we do get the most momentum. And we can really take advantage of that with some pullbacks, but we have to wait for that to happen. But at the moment, yeah, I quite like the opportunity for short off the high or a buy off the low there. Here's kind of 50-50. We're in the middle of a range. I wouldn't look to do anything there. But if we do progress to the high, I do think that's interesting. So yeah, hopefully that made sense on the DAX. Hey, appreciate it, Yoshi. Thank you, my man. That's a red flag. To be honest, what's the red flag? With lower time frames now, high impact news is on your neck. What do you think? Yeah, that's one component which I don't like. I'm not gonna lie about that. The one thing I did really take for granted with the 4-hour chart is that I can be a lot more relaxed with news because I just naturally have a larger stop loss. So even big news events like the Fed interest rate, I'm very much relaxed holding positions into that, even if I do have like 2-3 positions open. Worst case scenario, it does go against me. I do get stopped out, so I'm taking the loss. But in terms of spreads widening, and in terms of getting slipped, it's very minimal in the 4-hour chart because you just have that bigger stop loss size and you have a lower lot size relative to your position. Because of course, if I'm going to risk 1% on my account, and if I have a 10 pip stop loss versus like a 80 pip stop loss, my lot size is going to differ quite a lot. So because of that, if I do get slipped on the 4-hour chart, it's very minimal. Maybe if I risk 1%, I lose 1.2, 1.3%, maybe 1.5 worst case scenario, really. I don't think I've been slipped more than that on the 4-hour. So very minimal. Of course, intraday, it could be double, it could be 3 times, sometimes even more than that if it's really bad. So I don't really worry too much with the 4-hour. 15 though, yeah, that's prime time. So I have to be a bit more watchful of that. And again, with the 50-minute chart, I'm not going to be aggressive with it. I'm not here to take many trades. It's more so I'm looking at opportunities on the 4-hour chart, which I can get away from the 15, rather than scan the 15 and just look for opportunities there itself. So I'm going to have to tiptoe around the news, which is something I haven't done for a while. I've been trading the 4-hour chart for the past 2 years exclusively now. Before I was trading the hourly, which I was still kind of watchful of the news because my stop loss wasn't that big on the hourly chart. But yeah, 15, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful with that now. So yeah, that's definitely an element I'm going to have to think about a bit more. I did definitely take that for granted in the 4 hours. So yeah, it's definitely a good point. Definitely a good point. Actually, yeah, low time frame, don't hold free news. Yeah, unless I'm taking money from trade. Yeah. That's what I was mentioning last week with the pound USD trade last week, because we had the Fed interest rate in the evening. But I said if price was in profit, I would have held. So yeah, if I'm way in profit, that's different. But if price is like here, let's say if we got news coming up and prices here, I probably would just close, which is not something I'll do on the 4-hour chart, but I would have to do here. What happened there? I think TradingView just refreshed itself. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more. I know average pip move on news because M1, I can imagine with the M1 will be hectic. M1 you can't trade for news at all. If you have like a 3 pip stop loss, you know, how are you gonna stomach news with that? Doesn't even have to be a fairly big one. Of course, if you're way into profit and you've like managed risk, that's different. But if it's like near your entry, it can be quite risky. Actually, it will be very risky. That comes in handy. LFTJ, what's your vlog? How is it though, recording and talking to camera, especially outside the house? To be fair, I didn't really do that, did I? I did record outside the house, but I didn't talk to the camera because the only part I was outside the house was in the gym, and that was just me doing my workout. But yeah, recording the house is fine. I'm comfortable in the house. Outside the house, I've never really done that, to be honest. That's something that I might have to try and experiment with, because it's something I do want to do to add like another dynamic to the channel, film outdoors and stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not experienced with that. Inside the house, fine, I can do that. You know, it's the house after all. But outside, I'm not the most extroverted person, so it's definitely gonna take some getting used to. Okay, yeah, 30 minutes by 30 minutes, taking partial should be up a lot too risky enough. Of course. Yeah, I think I will try, because basically my plan now with news is just whichever trade I'm in, if there is dollar news coming up, be careful. Of course, with today we've got jobless claims coming up at 1:30. The time now is 11:44, so that's just underneath, not just over an hour and a half's time. We'll see what this position is doing, because it's looking quite flat. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe the trade is actually waiting for the news to get going, which is not particularly great. It would be nice if I could just be out the position or in profit by then. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play it as it goes, because normally my plan is basically, okay, if there's news in the afternoon, I can trade in the morning and then close the trade hopefully before the news comes out, or if I'm in profit, I'll hold. In this case, because of gold, I probably would just exit before the news, to be honest, just because momentum's not really in my favor. It's gold, so it's not like a euro dollar or like a pound dollar, which is a little bit more gentle. Gold can be violent. Jobless claims is not really an event I worry too much about. It can still move. Oh, we got GDP. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely out of the trade. I didn't see that. You can see I'm a bit rusty reading the news. Yeah, I did not see that. GDP, okay, yeah, I'm definitely out of the trade. Yeah. Especially with gold as well. Yeah, I'll be out of the position. GDP in the afternoon, 1:30. Because I just looked at the calendar, saw jobless claims. I was like, okay, maybe I exit, maybe I don't. I'm not too scared about jobless claims. GDP, that can be a big boy. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rethink that one. Yeah, I'll probably be out of the trade. Danny, you should really do a day in life. I just did a day in life, Danny. I literally just posted the video yesterday. I mean, again, like I said, I'll probably do more of them and probably do some more interesting days, because that was a very bog standard day in the life, as in like nothing. That's pretty much how most of my days are. So it's not like an eventful day in the life, if you know what I mean. So I'll probably do more of those when things are actually happening outside trading as well. But that was just kind of like a normal day in the life in terms of what I do 90% of my time. So yeah, I did post that yesterday, but like I said, I'll probably do more of those. I really fear news. I don't blame you, Lenny. I don't blame you. I'm not that bothered. Says the M1 trader. Yeah, gold shorts and GDP coming. Yeah, I'm going to have to be a bit cautious there. Although this candle's picking up the pace a little bit. I mean, it's got 12 minutes to close. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we close above resistance, I will walk away for the position. And the thing is, that candle will close at 12, which is when I end the stream. So we shall see. And if it doesn't close, well, it just rolls on to the next candle, really. Don't watch it, he's naked. Unless you're interested in that, you can go watch. Try my best to adapt to news. Yeah, that's the best way forward, especially if you're trading intraday. Because the only reason why you don't trade news, especially if you're a technical trader, is because of the risk element. It's not necessarily that, okay, I'll take a trade and maybe the news goes against me, because it will sometimes go against you and sometimes it will go for you. So, you know, half the time the news will bite you, half the time it will provide for you. That's the way I see it. I've traded through numerous news events. I'd probably say it's probably about 50-50 in terms of, you know, sometimes news goes for me, sometimes it goes against me. So the way I see news is just extra kind of catalyst to get the ball rolling. But the only reason why you wouldn't want to trade it, again, from a technical perspective, is risk. And especially because that is heightened on the lower time frames, higher lot sizes, tighter stop losses, spread widens, slippage potentially happens as well. So if there's a situation where you do take a trade, you hold through the news and you get slipped 2-3 times how much you're risking, is that something you want to keep doing, especially if you have a really large account? Would you want to do that? Maybe not. So you probably want to practice working your way around the news. If you don't mind that happening, because of course it won't happen every time, but if you don't mind that happening, then yeah, you can hold through the news. There's no inherent bad reason to do that. It's simply in terms of risk, which is why news is a little bit scary. So if you can stomach the risk, because sometimes people ask me, Miko, should I hold through news? I always tell them, as long as your risk is managed and you're happy with the worst case scenario, then yeah, hold through the news. Because there's many times where I analyze a chart, news kicks in, it does what I thought it would do, but because of the news, you're not in the trade. So you can take the trade, you can hold through news, but be prepared for the worst case scenario, especially in the lower time frames, which means, you know, you could 3x your loss potentially. If you're fine to hold through that, go ahead. If you don't want to experience that, then don't hold through the news. And of course, by doing that, you will miss out on some moves, but you know, it's a balance between the two. No worries, Danny. Yeah, again, it's not like a big eventful one, but it pretty much just sums up 90% of my days. So I think that's a good perspective as well. Because you know, if I filmed on a day I'm doing crazy stuff, you might think that's every day when that's not the case. LFTJ one time closed my trade before the news went my favor nowadays, and it just stops to break even. Yeah, again, like I said, you know, there will be times where that momentum's picking up now. Like I said, there will be times that news goes for you. Again, on the 4-hour chart, I'm just holding through the news every time. 15, especially gold. Might need to rethink that. Danny, if you get stopped out on gold, are you going to prep for a buy? It depends on the situation. But good question, though. It depends on the situation, because if I'm going to look for a buy, I did mention this is where I would buy, because this is like a nice pullback and a high-low formation. If gold just does rally through my stop loss, and especially if it starts taking out highs here, then yeah, I would suggest buys are the best bet. And from there, I'll be looking at price continuing back to the all-time highs and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'll probably be done for the day, to be honest, because I do have other things to do today. So I probably will come back tomorrow morning, see what the situation is. But if there's convincing move, especially taking out highs here, that'll completely invalidate the sells, because this would then look like a V-shaped pattern almost. Impulse down, fairly impulsive on the way up. This might just be the new higher low now for gold, and in that case, you're looking for the pullback for a push back to highs. So yeah, I will look to switch my bias around if that's the case. But yeah, because I'm a bit busy today, maybe tomorrow morning if things can set up. But I wouldn't be bearish anymore. I need price to hold this and reverse if I'm going to be bearish. If it does break through, it's not going to plan. I'm watching the live stream while cooking. What are you making? To be fair, I've had someone say they're watching the live stream whilst driving before, which I do not condone. Do not condone. How's the DXY looking? Yeah, it's an interesting area here. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on the DXY because it hasn't really progressed much throughout the stream. It's just been up and down between resistance and support. It hasn't really given us too much information. So I'm waiting for us to give us the breakout, and then we can know what the jig is up. Maybe it's waiting for the news. To be honest, it probably is waiting for the news, isn't it? So yeah, if you do break structure to the upside and then pull back, great. I'll be bullish going into tomorrow and the rest of next week, probably. Nothing crazy, just probably a push back to the highs here, and then we call it a day. And if reject well, there could be some sells, but again, I wouldn't look for anything crazy, just for a push here. I'm not quite convinced on the move back to lows here for the DXY just yet. Just got Stop Town Gold. Unfortunate, Danny. On to the next one, my man. On to the next one. Record the trade. That's important. But on to the next one. Lebsy, no problem. Happy to help. Hey, appreciate it, my man. Enjoy the day in life. No numbers, no flashy stuff. Ultra realistic. Hope you repost them. Okay, yeah. I guess I will. Had some positive feedback on the video, so yeah, I'll probably will do some more day in lives. And again, that's just really 90% of my routine. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and especially because I'll be doing a lot more trading in the 15-minute as well. Be a bit more entertaining, a bit more fast pace. I'll still be trading the full hour too, but 15 does add a different dynamic. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lebsy. Appreciate it, my man. I'm out and about right now as well. Price waiting for news. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think every market's waiting at this point. DXY is waiting. Gold's waiting. I think everyone's waiting for the news. Indices. S&P. Okay, we're picking up a bit of momentum there. NAS picking up a bit of momentum too. I actually quite like the sells on the indices, but I would wait for one more sweep of the high before the short. Coming a bit deeper. Kind of like what we did here. You can see price made that first up move. Push down. Second one. That's the one I want to take. Because the whole idea is that, okay, if we do have a trend, I don't want to be the first person in there. I mean, I've always said first bird, not the first bird. The early bird gets the worm. But in FX, it's more so the second mouse gets the cheese. You don't want to get caught in the trap first. You want to get in second. Because at the end of the day, if a pullback is going to happen, price is going to get back to highs and respect prior lows. If price is going to invalidate that, then it's not really a pullback or it's a big fake out. But most likely it's not a pullback. So because of that, I like being the second or third one into the trade. I like being a little bit later than everyone else. Because that's potentially where people lose their money and then I get into the trade. That's my logic behind it. Of course, doesn't mean I always will take the trade and get it right, but at least I'm a little bit later. And that does mean that sometimes you miss the early pullback and it just rips without you, sure. But I don't mind that because there's literally an infinite amount of opportunities in the market. So I don't have to take every one. I just want to take the better ones. So in this situation as well, I would like that second move and then the drop. But of course, maybe price does just drop on this first attempt. And that would be the move that I do miss. Oh, would you look at that? Gold is pulling back down, but it's just awkward though, because with every minute we push a bit closer to the news here. Unless, you know, price is like down here by the time the news comes out, which I highly doubt it, but it could be the case. Unless price is like down here, I don't see myself holding through the news. I think maybe best case scenario, price does still hold resistance. Maybe pushes closer to my entry, then I exit there. I mean, I would still take a small loss because I did take half of the position off around here. So I would still walk away with a small loss, but it would be very, very minimal, to be honest, because I reduced the risk getting into the trade initially, and then I've only taken half the loss of what I risked as well. So it'd be very, very small. But I think that would be best case scenario. Maybe price does drop, but I feel like maybe it might wait for the news to do that. But to be honest, yeah, really good wicks to the upside. Really good wicks. But yeah, we've got about an hour and a half now, and I don't want to sit in the trade through the news. So either which way, I'm going to exit early. Unless we do a crazy drop here, which is going to take a pretty big move. And I feel like we won't do something that big anyway until the news comes out. So yeah, we're doing all these wicks, but I feel like it will just be for nothing. Will I be streaming again today? No. The next time, actually no, I will. What am I on about? I will be live with Trader Nick on his channel. On my channel, I'll be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m, 12 p.m, so same time as always. But I will be on Nick's channel today. I think 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon, UK time. So 2 hours from now ish. Jens Chef, okay. A bunch of recommendations coming now just as we're about to get to that. Okay, I'll quickly do a couple of those pairs to wrap it up. Okay, so but yeah, I will be live again later today. So if I didn't analyze a pair you wanted me to, you can ask me on Trader Nick's channel. And worst case scenario, I'll be live again tomorrow here. You can ask me again. But yeah, Euro Aussie, it's an interesting one. I was actually looking to sell this one this week, but I was too aggressive in the pullback. I didn't really see any opportunities to get involved. Now that we've had this move here, drop, now price is back at lows. To me, it kind of looks like price is forming support and somewhat of a very weird head and shoulder pattern. I would suggest if we can break through the support here, we are looking pretty bearish. Then the pullbacks afterwards become pretty clean actually. Because the way I look at Euro Aussie right now, we've kind of broken structure. And then now I'm looking at potentially a lower high forming and a push to new lows and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Euro Aussie, but I don't quite like the short setup just yet. A break of this support level, however, especially a strong one, would say, okay, yeah, bears are in charge. Intraday pullbacks look good, maybe even a retest of that low, and then a push back to lows there makes sense, or that area in general. So Euro Aussie, I'm looking for shorts, not quite here yet. Like I said, maybe we've got somewhat of a head and shoulder pattern going on, but I wouldn't read much into it until I do see this support level break, and then yeah, could be some nice shorts after that. And in terms of Aussie Swiss, I clicked the wrong one. Aussie CHF. Yeah, this one's in the middle of nowhere. We've got a bit of a range, and now we're kind of ranging in that range, so that's too much ranges for me to deal with, to be honest. So really, if you're looking for any opportunities on Aussie Swiss, I'll keep it really, really simple and just look to sculpt the highs even. I wouldn't look for any big swing trade because direction is just kind of up in the air right now. I know overall we are bearish. The market is coming from highs. We are selling, so naturally you want to be a seller over a buyer, but still we're not seeing any force price respect to those really aggressively. Yes, a short off the high makes sense, but I'll just keep it really simple. Look for short trades, short-term trades, and not look for any big move. You can look for a bigger move, but be prepared to close early. That's really my advice. So if I was looking to short, it would be off resistance or off this area. But yeah, really choppy conditions. Wouldn't look for any kind of trend following or momentum following techniques. Anywho, we have come to the end of the stream, ladies and gents. I will be live again later today on TradingX channel. If you're available, catch me there around 2 p.m., so 2 hours from now. If not, I'm live here, as always, 10 a.m. Oh, look at that on gold. Hello. Maybe there is hope. Is there some news going on? I didn't see any. Well, not until later. Not that I know. But I'm not going to complain at all. Yeah, I can't see any news. Anyway, hello. So yeah, we are doing the move finally. Again, I'm probably going to need price to at least get here to actually make somewhat of a profit on the position, because I have closed some half of the trade earlier on. But yeah, maybe we do get the drop. Maybe we do get the drop. Let's see. It's a shame that we're only seeing the momentum now. But yeah, I mean, we had the wicks up there, so there was that hope. Rexus, you did have some hope for the trade. Looks like we're kicking in. I mean, it's going to need to really drop, to be honest, because even if we are looking bearish and still trading here, yeah, I probably would still close the trade early for the news in the afternoon. So at least it's not a complete loss there. So I would happily take that. I definitely won't complain. But still, I need price to really push away. But anyway, looking pretty good there for gold. Let's see how that does progress this afternoon. Trade Nick, can you share his channel? Yeah, he's got a pretty big one. Yeah, just search Trade Nick, you'll find it. Yeah, gold finally falling. Finally, right at the end. Last minute winner. To be fair, I might keep it going just a little bit just to see what this candle does close like. Extra 9 minutes, we'll see how it does close. I do have a pretty busy day, so I do need to get on with it, but I'll keep the trade going on my phone so I can keep up to date with it. But yeah, I mean, pretty surprising, I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting any movement until the news this afternoon. I just thought it's going to be a situation where maybe price just wicks around here because it doesn't have quite enough momentum to push through the level. So maybe price just does dance around. And then I end up closing the trade like here somewhere just before the news. Or maybe it just does stop me out. But we are seeing some momentum. How's silver looking? Okay, silver seeing some downside too. Silver was giving me the creeps before because it was so bullish this morning. That almost made me not take the position. But it is dropping a bit now. So yeah, I'm going to see how this kind of does close. Is it a hoax or is this the real deal? It's looking good. It's looking good. Again, I mean, I did really like the position. The only reason why I was cautious is because I'm going against the higher time frame trend and because it's gold as well. If this was like euro dollar counter trend, yeah, this is fine. But gold in these conditions, price can really just rip against you. So that's why I was really cautious. Everyone comment 30. Just by how aggressive the move, it tells me it's going to eat the previous lows. That would be nice. That would be nice. I mean, it would be nice if price can keep pushing and then maybe by the news we're like here. Then yeah, I'll just move stops to break even. Tell gold to do its worst. Try to keep 12:30 if you can. I'll keep it 12:15 because I've got stuff to do, unfortunately. But hopefully, I don't know. I was gonna say hopefully I might still be in the trade for Nick's stream later on, but I don't think I will be. But I'll definitely recap it and tell you what I did on his stream. And if you're not there, then of course we'll recap it tomorrow as well. That range was right on gold. I'm glad it dropped before you, bro. I appreciate it, Bashi. Yeah, I didn't like the range at all. I mean, I'm still not going to get too excited until this candle does close. Then I'm like, okay, we've got momentum on our sides. Because I can see this potentially just pulling back and wicking there. Giving me an ugly close. But if it can maintain that momentum, close anywhere in there, yeah, we should be all right. Damn, that entry saved my funds account. Yeah, of course, it is risky, but so far looking good. Okay, no worries, Bashi. Just so they got stopped out, but it's fine. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. What price did you have your stop at? What price do you have your stop at, Danny? But again, you know, if you do get stopped out, yeah, it's not great, but where the learning bit is the reviewing after. You know, you don't really learn on the job in trading, which is, yeah, a bit of a hoax really, because people thinking as you trade you can get better. You won't get better. You have to actually review what you do, and that's how you improve. Who stream? Trader Nick's. Trader Nick. If you just search him on YouTube, he's got a massive channel, so you won't be able to miss him. But yeah, he will do like an afternoon stream, and I'll be on it. But like I said, that stream will be like 2:30, 2 p.m. roughly. I don't know if I'll still be in the position, maybe. But regardless, I'll give you guys an update. My entry is just stop loss. Okay, so you're looking to enter as price breaks the consolidation higher. I mean, that's pretty smart, to be honest, for a buy. I mean, I wouldn't buy there just because of the supply zone. I like to kind of group the chart in terms of territory, in terms of, okay, seller's territory, buyer's territory. Anywhere with like a meaningful supply area, especially after a big move, is always going to be bearish territory. Doesn't mean price can't very much break through, because of course if it did break up consolidation, maybe we would have just rallied to the upside at that point. But yeah, if you are going to look for a buy, you would want to wait for the highs to break first. Oh, just hit the mic there. Apologies. Okay, we are looking pretty good, I can't lie. 3 minutes to go. Momentum still intact. See, this is what I expected to happen as I got into the trade. Of course, not necessarily instantly, but the way this candle closed, momentum was still there. You know, I was very much looking just to hold that. But then we pull back up. It wasn't looking good. I said if price does close above this high here, I'll close the trade. Luckily, this candle didn't, just provide a nice wick. We maintained that. And then suddenly the momentum does come in. Okay, so we've just got to this first zone here. So this is where, again, buyers could look to try and position themselves to take price higher. Although I did say as well that I'll watch how price gets there. If it's very powerful, like it potentially is right now, then I'll just hold through that, because I wouldn't expect buyers to be successful here. If it was like a slow grinding move down, then yeah, I'd be very watchful of that, because this would be most likely a pullback for price to continue higher. So I'll be very watchful of that. But nope, this looks pretty strong to me. 2 minutes and some into this candle does close. I wouldn't expect buyers to take that back to the upside successfully. Maybe a bounce, sure. but I wouldn't expect him to. So I don't mind holding through that. Excuse me. 100% sure that it'll hit your full target. I bet for sure. Don't jinx it now, Doctor. With all this 100% sure, yeah, I don't like that. You might jinx the position now, man. But I do appreciate the confidence, though. If it did, as I said, so I'll interview me in your channel where I explain why it did so. Not sure how that will work, but I'll think about it. I'll think about interviewing you. Can I FOMO it in? I wouldn't advise it, Omar, especially on a big candle like this. Can be deceiving, especially with a big candle like that. Because if you think about it, now everyone's seeing this big candle. Now this is when everyone gets their shorts in. Because the logic of my entry is that I'm kind of entering before momentum's there. So before people have clocked onto the shorts, that's when I'm entering. You know, price is taking out highs here. People are thinking gold's bullish. People are thinking, okay, price is breaking through highs. Gold's now just going to continue to the moon. That's when I want to enter, when people are not quite sure about the direction or think that, okay, maybe the sales are over. The sellers are not going to take price down. That's where I want to try find my entry, because I'm in before the wave. Now that the wave has happened, now this is when everyone's trying to join the trade, which isn't the best time to do so. It doesn't mean it won't go down from here. It very much still could go down. But in terms of risk management, where's your stop loss going to be? Probably above the high there, which again is not the worst case scenario, but it will definitely skew your risk to reward up. You know, if you have a stop loss there, let's say if this is your first target, well, that's a 0.54. Not particularly great, but maybe this is your target, 1.2. Again, not particularly great, but it could have been a lot better if you're entering higher up. Of course, this is more risky, but if it plays out, you're well positioned to take advantage of the move. Okay, so we just had the candle close. Minimal wick to the downside. Definitely clear momentum there. It's still not completely out the woods yet. Still respecting this area, which I said I'll keep an eye on. And of course, we still got the news later this afternoon. Maybe if the price is like trading down here, then I won't close the trade. If it's still here before the news, I may still consider closing the trade. It's just gold and I'm just against the trend, so that's what I'm a bit more watchful. If this was like Euro USD, I'll be a bit more comfortable. But yeah, I can't complain. Really nice close. Momentum's back in my favor. Let's see if we can continue. Oh, you entered sell at the stop loss. Okay, I get you now. I get you. Okay. Oh, okay, I get you. I thought you were looking at the other bias. Okay. Okay, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. A very nice little ending there. I cannot complain. Really nice push back down. Hopefully this does continue. Or maybe Doctor has jinxed it for us, but we'll have to wait and see. I will be live again tomorrow as always, and I will be live again later today on TradingNix channel in about a couple of hours time. So if you want to update, do stick around for that stream later today. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed it. If that is the case, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Does really help out. Hit the bell, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends too. No, I haven't gone to break even yet. I'm just going to manage the trade manually for now. I'd like price to break through here before break even, because I could see price potentially pulling back to do something like that. I think it's still a little bit too early to go break even. But I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. Hopefully see you later today. If not, tomorrow morning. Drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed it. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. And I'll catch you all tomorrow.
6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.